Welcome. The topic for today's tutorial is an airtight case. What is an airtight case? A case could be a suitcase or something, a kind of enclosure, something used for packing, and it also means a serious matter that has no loopholes. Let us see what goes ahead. So we have these are the color codes. The blue are the keywords, important words you must read, you must go through in the passage so that you are able to answer the questions related to the passage. Then the green code is for the words that you must read together. See, there are many words in a passage other than adjective and noun combination which must be read together. Then the red color is if both 1 and 2, the blue and green apply, then there is red color given over here in the passage. Gray is for pronoun which you should be able to link with the noun it refers to. This is important. Understanding a pronoun sometimes becomes very key to getting to the right meaning. Then the yellow. The yellow code is for those words which require a close look, a better understanding. And then I have selected few words from the passage and put a star mark over it, and the meanings are given just below, right in the beginning of the passage, so that you don't have confusions ahead while reading ahead in the passage. Okay. The first is the topic itself, an airtight case, a matter without loopholes, an issue without loopholes, an investigation without loopholes. This would be the possible meanings of this combination of words. Dastardly. Now just see this ly. Ly is usually pinpoints that the word is an adverb. Dastard is another word, noun, it is noun, and the noun has been converted to adverb with the help of ly. Now these letters ly coming at the end of a word, the root word, this dastard will be called a root word, and adding ly makes it an adverb. This ly is called suffix. I have given list of suffixes and prefixes in my book SSC English, which you can refer to. The book is available on Amazon. So dastardly means something wicked and cruel, something immoral, something crooked. Then you have the word minute. Minute refers to something very small in size, very trifle, something insignificant, not very important. Minute also carries the same meaning, and it means fine, small and precise details over here in this passage. Perpetrator. Perpetrator is a person carrying out immoral or illegal act. Reconnaissance. Reconnaissance is surveillance, observation for locating enemy. It is a done in military practices for locating enemies. A surveillance is done for locating enemies. Indoctrination. Indoctrination is wrong teaching or teaching to accept a particular belief, particular religion without any argument, without any criticism. So this is indoctrination. Forensic. Forensic is scientific method to investigate crime. The scientific method to investigate a crime is called forensic investigation. Deep state. The state is a state, that is autonomous and sovereign. Deep state refers to state within the state. Usually, it refers to such a group of people who disobey the rules or the law of the land and have their own set of rules and actions to govern themselves. Here in this passage, it has been used for terrorist group of Pakistan who have their own state of law, own rules and own actions which they govern by themselves, and the government of Pakistan is unable to tackle that. Then hollowing out, putting out something very important. Here in this passage, it has referred to removal of the special status of J&K, Article 370. This is the removal of status of J&K is hollowing out. Hollow is the word. To vacate, to empty. Now emptying out J&K means removing the special status of J&K. So let us go ahead with the passage itself. The topic is there, an airtight case. Then the subtopic, further clarity emerges on JEM's Jaish-e-Mohammad's and Pakistan's role in Pulwama attack. So it says that after investigations, clarity has come out of the connivance of JEM with Pakistan and their role in Pulwama attack. How this is being explained in the passage is to be looked into. A year and a half, 1.5 years after the dastardly terror attack on Central Reserve Police Force convoy in Pulwama that killed 40 personnel, the National Investigation Agency has filed a charge sheet against 19 people, including Maulana Masood Azhar, the leader of terrorist group Jaish-e-Mohammed, for planning the attack. Now, this is the opening sentence, and it brings out the summary of the whole of the entire passage that is to be contained in the passage. It says that 1.5 years ago there was a very painful, very unholy terrorist attack on the team of CRPF that were passing by Pulwama, a place in Jammu and Kashmir, and that attack killed 40 personnel of CRPF. The National Investigation Agency made its investigations and finally has come out with a charge sheet against 19 people, and one of them is Maulana Masood Azhar, who is the leader of Jaish-e-Mohammed. And the allegation in the charge sheet says that Maulana Masood Azhar was involved, or rather responsible for planning the attack. So this is how we get to the meaning of a sentence. Uh, of course, piece by piece meaning is taken, but then they are all related together and cohere with the topic itself also. Considering the difficulties in piecing together the minutiae in the case, the agency's painstaking effort must be acknowledged. That this sentence is appreciative in nature. It appreciates the efforts of a national investigation agency who have been successfully able to bringing together even the fine details, minute details of the case, and have put a lot of effort while doing so. So, uh, the identity of the key perpetrators was never in doubt after JEM claimed responsibility immediately after the attack in February 2019. So it says that, well, as far as the allegation against those who designed the attack was never in doubt because way back in February 2019 itself, the JEM claimed responsibility for the attack. They had themselves claimed that they were responsible for the attack. So, the investigative agency had at least one clue with them uh, whom to be investigated and what to be investigated. The charge sheet details the role of JEM's handlers and its local associates in Kashmir, how the attack was in work since 2016. Now the charge sheet gives the details also. It says that the JEM, in association with some people in Kashmir, were planning this attack right from 2016. So they took over 3 years to plan out the uh, incident. The JEM's role was in reconnaissance, training, and indoctrination, but the group could not have procured and transported the high-intensity explosives without the involvement of the Pakistani security establishment. Sorry. Okay. This gives that the charge sheet explains further that JEM had a role in reconnaissance, in making a survey as to where the attack on CRPF convoy would be suitable. Then they had role in training the people who would give the result to the incident, and then indoctrination, uh, the the training, the lessons, or making the people involved believing that the things are correct and just without any criticism. So JEM had role in these three things: reconnaissance, training, and indoctrination. But there is an obvious outcome. Obvious outcome is that uh, at least the procurement and transport of this high-level explosive, which devastated the whole bus, was not possible. Could not have been possible without the involvement of Pakistani security establishment. The JEM is not capable of procuring and transporting those kind of explosives. Okay. The charge sheet's investigation based on forensic evidence. The charge sheets carries investigations based on forensic evidence. Now there is a hyphen. It means what were the investigations that were done. It, hyphenation is for investigation. The investigations were done on DNA analysis of remains of suicide bomber. So this would confirm the origin as to where the bomber belonged to. Then the IP address tracking of the video released by JM claiming responsibility. Now, uh, soon after the incident, JM claimed responsibility that they had done it. Now, what this investigation agency did was to locate the IP address of that video in which the claim was made. Now, that IP address tracking was also uh, one of the forensic evidences. This was an important evidence. Examination of the battered vehicle that carried the explosives. And the third thing was examination of the vehicle which carried explosives and collided with bus, the bus which carried CRPF men. The, the vehicle that collided with the bus was battered due to the explosion, and that battered vehicle was examined by National Investigation Agency, among others. There were so many other things also that they were investigated, but they were not very important, as important as at least these three. So the sentence goes on, therefore makes a thorough claim on JEM's and Pakistan's role in the attack. Now these three things confirm that JEM and Pakistan had a definite role in the attack. This is what the sentence says. The Pulwama attack was followed by the bombing of a terror training center in Balakot in Pakistan by Indian Air Force and retaliatory air strikes by Pakistan. And in the aftermath of the incident, Indian Air Force bombed the terror training center which was located in Balakot of Pakistan. And in retaliation to this bombing, the Pakistan also had air strikes against India. These have resulted in a breakdown of diplomatic ties and deterioration of every aspect of relations between the countries. Now definitely if there are so many crosswords between two nations, the relations has to go away. But the Pulwama investigation could present an opportunity for Pakistan to initiate meaningful changes in its approach towards the cross-border terror, if indeed the Imran Khan government is keen on reforming its deep state. See, it says that the investigation done by Indian organization, the National Investigation Agency, gives an opportunity to Pakistan to look itself for meaningful changes and not to remain with the untidy behavior and contain the cross-border terror. If and this is possible only if the Imran Khan government is willing to reform the the uh, the terrorist that Pakistan has with itself. This deep state refers to the terrorist groups which do not obey government orders and rather have their own independent rules and actions. For the Indian government, so the first paragraph gives a plethora of details, a host of details, and the proofs uh, that fix Pakistan and JEM as responsible for Pulwama attack. For the Indian government, the charge sheet presents a case not just for detailing the role of Pakistan and its proxy actors in Kashmir, but to re-evaluate its strategy. Now it says that for the Indian government, the charge charge sheet is just not to speak about Pakistan and and the people over here in Kashmir who act according to their instructions. Rather, the charge sheet uh, goes ahead in making uh, more foolproof strategy for future. The involvement of a local Kashmiri youth in the attack as a suicide bomber years after militancy had waned in the valley was also a warning about the alienation setting into the valley. Now, what is this alienation setting into the valley? This carries something special meaning. It says that the terrorism was silent for quite some time in the valley, in the Kashmir area, but the proof that a Kashmiri youth uh, got involved in as a suicide bomber in this case is a proof that Kashmiris are are getting alienated from the mainstream of life in 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 the valley, in the Jammu and Kashmir state. So involvement of a person in actions like this, like working as a suicide bomber, has a direct meaning that at least some people are not in line with the mainstream of the state. The hollowing out of the Jammu and Kashmir's special status, the finishing of the taking away of special status of Jammu and Kashmir, the bifurcation of the state and the demotion of J&K as a union territory. So, reducing Jammu and Kashmir from state to union territory is a kind of demotion. The detention of scores of political leaders, including mainstream actors, and the continuing restrictions on access to the broadband internet have deepened the alienation. Now it says that the alienation has been described over here. The following factors have made Jammu and Kashmir aloof from the rest of the country. What are those things? The first is removal of special status, then the bifurcation of state, uh, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh into Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, and making and converting both of them into union territories. Then the detention of political leaders, including those persons who were in prominence. Mainstream actors refers to prominent persons, and the continuing restriction on access to internet. Now these all work together to cut off Jammu and Kashmir away from the rest of the country. The prevention of terror attacks will entail not only security and diplomatic measures to isolate and destroy terror outfits such as JEM, but also addressing the roots of alienation that contribute recruits to the cause of terrorism. So, this last sentence, the concluding sentence, gives two things. Prevention of terror attacks will give not only security and diplomatic measures to isolate and destroy terror outfits. So, the administration and the military together can now isolate, can uh, pinpoint the terror outfits and destroy them, such as JEM. So, taking full control of the state by alienation, the administration and security personnel can bring about complete destruction of terror outfits. And not only that, they can also address the roots of alienation. The causes that caused the civilians to participate with JEM, they can root out those causes and redistributes to the cause of terrorism. The causes that made J&K people to contribute to become recruits and bring about terrorism. So these two things can be finished off by this prevention. This is the obvious conclusion made by the author, and it is in the form of appreciation as well. So with this I close. Thank you. Kindly like and subscribe this channel. Thank you once again.